Richard Sling here, back with CNH Small again for another informative review here. This one deals with the AK again. This is the another we want to call update for the DDI AK as well too. I finally got some of my parts in over here, and I was basically changing out some of the parts on there, like the Tapco trigger group. What I did over here was, you can obviously see here on the gun right now, I basically wrapped the rear stock on here with some digital camo stock on here, and I also put a nice big Caligula. It's called a Volzhsk butt pad. They're made in Russia over here, and these things are nice and soft on here. I recommend if you got an AK and you want something to really soak up the recoil absorption on there, basically get one of these, and you'll really appreciate getting one for your gun, because I basically give them 2 thumbs up for every gun I have, and they're basically on every gun I do on this. I call them block gun, and they're for that. Plus I also got my Russian naval sling here. This is the blue-black type right here. It's call it most of the time they're like dark navy blue, or sometimes almost like black in color, and it's sort of like, me personally, it's sort of adds character to the gun basically. Yeah, that's why I got it, and also it looks kind of neat to have, as opposed to typical green or brown or tan sling you see on most of the guns out there for that. And they also have a little logo up here with the OTK thing as well too, where the other ones usually have like a black stamping or something else on it, so it's kind of a unique feature for that as well too. So let me see here as well. I'm gonna put some other stuff to talk about. Next stuff was, I told you about the rear butt pad and the cloth wrap here, the actual camo wrap. The reason I put that on there was because it actually feels more comfortable shooting the gun up at the range by doing that as well too on there. Basically your face is against cloth rather than typical, like a plastic or polymer or something else like that. So your face isn't going to be moving around. So it actually feels better against your face like that. It's what do you want to call it? It's not going to be as like slipping around a little bit or something like that, because sometimes I see people up there shooting their guns and their faces may be moving around on their the butt pad back there. And since this is nice and soft on here, your face has a less chance to move around when you're up there shooting like this multiple times. So it actually feels soft on your face, so it's not like moving around like causing a brush burn on the side of your face as well too for that. And this is basically everything the gun's decked out to right now, except me putting a side scope, where I'm probably going to be doing that later when I get some money, but I don't have the funds right now to do it. So basically the gun's decked out as much as humanly possible for right now. And the last thing I want to mention too as well too about the gun, I'll show you right here, is the Tapco trigger. These Tapco, or these DDI guns, at least the new ones I got right here. This is the DDI forged one here. It's the newer milled version out there. They come from the factory with your Tapco single hook trigger assembly in there for that. Some people don't know that, but most people who got a DDI AK know what I'm talking about. So basically, it comes with a single hook Tapco trigger on here. What I did a couple days ago was I modified the gun, and I ordered a new trigger group. I got a 2-hook, completely new G2 Tapco one from it was Midway, or it was Apex Guns. I also got some other replacement parts for the gun as well too. I got a new firing pin retainer pin. I got a new extractor spring and a new extractor pin, because the gun, most of these guns are made on imported Bulgarian surplus kits and stuff like that. So I basically took all the guts out and basically rebuilt the bolt for the guns to try to alleviate any problems that might pop up in the near future for that. So did that. So what I had to do was on my specific trigger in here, I put the trigger group down instead of gun you normally do, and I ran into a problem where the actual the 2-hook part was actually rubbing. I'll show you where it's rubbing at here. Let me put my gun down here for that. Hold on. Put it over on the side over here. I want this thing laying on the floor over here. Okay, well what happened was the Tapco single hook worked perfectly fine in the gun, no problem, other than saying I really wanted to have a double hook because they do tend to feel better overall for that. And what happened was at the bottom of your trigger on here, where your hooks go right here, your hook's right in the back right here. This part right here, when I swapped the double hook into the receiver, it was actually rubbing on the inner side of the receiver. So what I had to do was basically flatten down this whole part right here. You see, you can let me see, hold my face here better so you can see it better. I had to flatten down this entire part right here. I flattened this all down, and I also flattened this down a little bit more in the front here as well too. This little hump right here where you have sticking out. So I basically flattened this flat silver side on the double hook trigger system on. Now the gun cycles pretty good now, and I can probably even show you that right now while I got it down here. So let me take it apart here and do that so you guys can actually have proof. I actually did it too because this gun, for whatever reason, I don't know why, the receiver's cut out for a double hook in there, even though when you put a Tapco, brand new Tapco double hook in there, it wouldn't accept it. So I basically had to modify the double hook trigger on there for that. I also put a, I also rebuilt the recoil spring mechanism there. I basically ordered an Arsenal milled receiver spring assembly. It was like $35–40 from K-Bar. And everybody knows about K-Bar, you get a real high shipping and handling, but they cut me a deal on the shipping, so it wasn't too bad. I got a new spring, and I also basically installed a new the front primary plunger area, and I also put a new keeper on the end too. So I got 1, 2, and 3 pieces. So I just kept the rear mechanism right here for the locks in the back of the receiver, because it looks like it was locked into the back of the receiver a lot more tighter. It didn't have a little bit of a wobble like the new Arsenal Bulgarian one did, so I left that in there. And it seemed to also improve the gun's cycling ability too, because whenever I took the old spring out and put the new spring in, it looked like the new spring might have been worn quite a bit, because when I compared them side by side, the new one, it was probably about 1.5 inches, 2 inches longer than the old one that I took out of the gun. So it did look like it was a lot longer than the old one that I took out of the gun. So it did work a lot better. So without further ado, I get on to the other thing about it here as well, with the trigger mechanism. So here's the other ports right there, and I'll show you down inside down here. Like I'll probably not be able to take a real good picture, but that's the double hook trigger down inside there. I had to modify like I said, I had to modify the double hook area right here as well too. It had to be ground down. This whole area had to be ground down, probably about 1 or 2 millimeters down there, in order for it to clear on the double hook aspect right there for that. And I also polished the actual hammer itself in there too. So anytime you put a new a trigger group in your gun, whether it be a Tapco or something else out there, preferably Tapco seems to be the best way, actually the most cost-effective way of putting a new trigger in your AK and stuff like that out there for that. I recommend going to double hook. Because why? Because double hook as opposed to single hook, you have equal pressure on both sides of the actual hammer down here, and sometimes people can notice right off the bat the difference is lighter and crisper pulling on it, because you have the weight of the hammer being taken up with 2 pieces rather than 1 hook on it. So you have 2 hooks, and they take equal pressure of the hammer itself and for that, so it relieves some of the tension and pressure on our for it. It's basically what I call perceived tension or pressure. It's not actual. You can you'll try to really verify how much pressure is, but it's just in my perceived pressure. It feels like it's lighter and crisper. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say, and it definitely does work. And let me see here. I can probably take it out right now, but I really don't want to do that. But maybe I should do that for you guys anyway. So you can see a side by side comparison. So I'll do that right now. Let me take the trigger out here. Bear with me for a couple seconds here. Let me get this thing out of here for you guys. Show you what it looks like. Take it out of here. Take this thing out. Okay. Take my spring out of here as well too. It's very easy doing a trigger job on your AK. That basically all you want to really do is just like smooth up your hammer on there and smooth up the two contact area where you put your hook at on there as well too, and that will basically definitely improve your trigger mechanism on there for that. So let me get this thing out of here for you guys. Show you what I did to this gun exactly. These springs are a little bitsy to do that right here. I don't have my big long needle nose pliers with me, so bear with me here for a couple seconds while I get this thing out of here. Let me get my other ones here. Okay, there we go. It's better now. Ow, you fucking bastard. That's what I didn't want to do. Okay, there we go. Get the one hooked around. Anytime you take your trigger assembly out of here, always get a pair of like pliers or something else. It'll make the job a hell of a lot easier to take it out of there properly. Because me, I don't have my long needle nose pliers here. Pop it out real quick, so that's why I'm taking a little bit longer. So bear with me, guys. Okay, there we go. Got it out now. Let's pop this out. There's your one pin for your front hammer assembly. What you do is pull that straight up out, just like that, and you got your spring assembly on your hammer right there as well. You want to cross. Basically, you want to do is cross loop the two springs here, so they're basically overlapping each other, sort of like that you see right there. They have to go on one way, and your spring mechanism has to go back in the gun just like that. So you put it back in there, it has to look exactly like that. So what I did was basically I took some emery cloth, and I took some fine and ultra fine sanding paper, and I basically buffed the two flat areas right here, the top one right here, and your rear piece as well too, and that basically slicked up the action quite easily for the gun. So whenever it's cycling, it gives like some people want to know why, like, you get a brand new AK out of the box, the bolt carrier tend to stick all the way back. Well, this is one of the reasons why it does that. Basically, you got a lot of friction right there, and the bolt carrier itself is hanging up on this secondary piece right in the back here where your hammer is at. So you want to smooth up all the contact pieces. You don't want to take too much off it. You just want to smooth it up, and you just want to make it almost like a mirror shine, so whenever your gun's cycling out there, it'll function a hell of a lot better for that. So I'll put that aside right now, and get the other portion out here as well too, guys. Okay, let me take the pins out here on this side of the back, and we'll get this thing out of here for you and show you what I did to this thing as well. So if you want to swap out your trigger for your single hook to a double hook on her, you can definitely do it with your DDI Forge AK or any other AKs that DDI currently makes that has set up for a double hook. Okay, here it is, guys. Here's your double hook. Here's a new double hook that I actually put in here for the gun. And what I had to do was basically, if you can see right in the front end right here, I had to basically file down the entire portion right along. Let me see, get my pen out here. I basically had to file down this portion right here, this whole big flat piece, file down on both sides evenly. What you want to do is you want to get like a rat-tailed file or one of those called cylindrical files. You know, it's basically long and it looks like a cylinder. Basically, you want to flatten off you want to go back and forth both sides like that. You know, basically flatten off the entire area. Plus, you want to flatten off the little nibs up here as well too. And by doing that, my gun cycles a hell of a lot better out there now. So I can actually have a proper break with the trigger under for that, as opposed to the this typical one hook right there for that I had originally in the gun. And like I said before, putting a double hook will what do you want to call it? It'll actually decrease perceived weight on the trigger right there for that. So I definitely get a 2 thumbs up for putting a Tapco double hook in place of your single hook receiver on there. As long as your receiver is cut out I'll even show you the bottom here. On the bottom of your receiver, you have the components right down underneath here, where your trigger goes underneath here. You'll have two hooks. You probably can't. I'm sorry, I can't really show it to you too good, but where your trigger drops in, the rear portion of your trigger assembly, you have two little hooks where they cut off the receiver, and it looks like U-shaped areas right there. If you have two U-shaped areas on your trigger right there, that's meant for a double hook. Your single hook will only have one U-shaped area right there for that, so you have to be careful on which trigger you get. If your gun came from a factory with a single hook, more than likely it was cut out for a single hook. But these mill ones, most of the time, they're cut out for a dual hook, so you have provisions to install a two hook or a two hook trigger in there for that as well too. So you can have a single hook like a Tapco, or you can upgrade, or you can put like a Krebs custom trigger in there that's a single hook, or you can upgrade it and polish your two hook like Tapco one out there and do that. But that's my recommendation right there. I personally like having two hook, because some other people like it because it's cheap backup. So if like one hook fails on you, have another hook to take its place. So that'll definitely work out as well too. Plus the other thing was, it's the original design trigger that came from the gun originally, like back in probably the late 40s or early 50s. So I think all the original milled like Type 2 and Type 3 AKs that the Russians produced had the double hook triggers on it for that. So it's basically trying to keep with the original spec from the factory right there for that. So that's my review, guys, from the upgrades I got currently in a gun right here. I'll give you a list of the upgrades. There was the sling, the rear camo wrap on it, the actual cloth camo wrap, the butt pad on there, plus the other thing was the Tapco dual hook trigger group, as opposed to the original OEM single hook, the actual cheaper one right there for that. So that's my review right there. Plus, I almost forgot to mention, yeah, I rebuilt the spring mechanism by putting a new spring, new front cylinder piece, plus the spring keeper on the front as well too. Plus I also, where's the other thing? I also rebuilt the bolt by putting in a new firing pin, retainer pin, new spring for the extractor, plus a new extractor pin as well too. So that's basically all the modifications I did up to right now for the DDI Forged AK. So this is basically an update for the previous video I made before, because I told you guys I was going to be doing some upgrading and stuff like that in the gun. So that's everything I have up to now, except for probably the optics, and I'm probably going to be getting maybe optics sometime probably in May or April or something. But I don't have the funds right now to do it, so it's kind of a moot point even mentioning that. But I'll probably make another video later, probably hopefully in early spring, with the optics upgrade for that. So if anybody has any questions, comments, whatnot, just drop me a message here, and I'll try to answer any questions you guys have about anything I talked about right now. So if anybody has any questions, just go ahead and leave a message under the video, and I'll try to get back as quickly as possible. I'll see you guys. Have a nice day.